Reminder, we'll let Coach start with an opening statement, then we'll take questions strictly for the student athletes, and then we'll come back to Coach. Coach?
That was a fun one, wasn't it? Again, these four guys here in a locker room full of other players are the reason why we've been able to be successful all season. Their work ethic, their commitment to being at their best every day, not only on the football field but in the classroom, resonates throughout our program. And we have a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds that are in that locker room that learn from these four guys and our other seniors. And it's been an unbelievable ride. I tell people all the time, I'm afraid I'm going to wake up and we're going to still be getting ready for Butler. But we're going to enjoy this one today. Not very often you go 16-0.
All right, we'll open it up now for questions for the student athletes. Remember to identify yourself, name and affiliation, and who you are asking the question to. Anyone with questions, raise your hand, please. We'll start here in the second row.
Jeff Kopak with the Forum in Fargo. Take us through the last play, James.
It's a play that we were familiar with. They ran it in first drive. They ran it on that 4th and 1, but he threw the shovel pass to the running back, the one that got reviewed. It was on film all year. We knew that when they got into the set, they were going to run a pick play, and honestly, they got us in a good call. They picked our guy. I just left my guy and knew that they were going to throw it and trusted that he was going to make the throw to the flat and not to the guy I'm supposed to cover. And I made the play, and the rest is history.
Next question right next to him.
Tori Reddick, college football. Trey, talk about opening the fourth quarter with the run on 3rd and 22. What did you see and just kind of what was going through your mind on that?
I was kind of just working through my progression, worked to Christian first, and then was going to step up and work my over. And kind of the Red Sea just kind of parted. Took off. In my head, I was thinking, 3rd and 22, maybe get half, get in a better field position for Riney. But, yeah, Jimmy made a big block, and I think Phoenix was the other one. I just specifically remember Jimmy's big block. Maybe don't even get the first down without him, so just shout out to those guys.
Next question. Stephen.
James, Stephen Hawkins with the AP. So which play is going to stand out for you when you look back on it many years from now, the interception or the fake field goal?
Meeting everybody up on stage is what's going to stand out. At the beginning of the day, we said we were going to meet everybody up on stage and with the victory and end this season and this run the right way. And seniors, that's what we wanted. It's the number one goal every single year. And, to go out on top as a senior is an incredible feeling, and that's what I'll remember. I'll remember all the faces that I saw on that stage and thanking everybody that, had given their hard work and hard effort into, everything that goes on with NDSU football, and I just feel so fortunate.
Go next, front row on the aisle.
I'm Alex at AM 1100, The Flag in Fargo. Question for Ben. Can you reflect a little bit about this ball game and just this run?
Yeah, the word I like to describe for these seniors is resilient, and so there's a lot of question marks and things like that at the beginning of the year, and to be able to be in this position to go out on top, it's been pretty special. And when you're playing with guys like the 14 seniors and guys like Trey Lance, it just makes it easy. He makes people around him better, and this coaching staff and everybody involved has made it very easy to be successful here.
Eric Peterson, Forum newspaper in Fargo. This is for Jackson. Just 16-0, backing up a 15-0 season. What does that mean to be able to put together another season like that?
I think it shows a lot about the program, who we are. I think at the beginning of the year, there were a lot of new faces and there were a lot of people that had a lot of questions about how good we were going to be. Myself, I was a new person. I had never really played. Trey had never really played. Coach Entz was a coordinator. But we kind of knew what we had in our locker room. Maybe everybody else didn't, but we had an idea we were going to be pretty good this year, and to see that all come to reality over a 6-month season or whatever it is has just been an unbelievable journey. So
we'll start next on the far right and then come back to the left again.
Ross Uglum, Bison Report. Jackson, for you again. I would say JMU probably got more than you guys would have liked between the 20s, but as you have done all year, boat up in the red zone, forced some field goals. What was it about your red zone defense this game and all year long that was so dominant?
That's just something that we pride ourselves on at a very high level. Coach Entz has said it before that at the end of the day, they don't count how many yards you get. You got to get yourself and the ball in the end zone. And We have a saying around here that says field goals don't get you beat, and that kind of showed up today. You know, we did everything we could to keep them out of the end zone and came up with some big plays down at the goal line. So
Back here on the left.
Brad, Super Talk 1270. This question is for Trey. What does it mean to go undefeated, or not undefeated, but not have any interceptions this whole season?
I think it's just a huge testament to the guys around me, whether it's offensive line, keeping me clean, the receivers, the running backs, tight ends, catching the ball, and also the coaching staff. Got to give all the credit to them. They put me in positions to be successful. Fortunate enough that it worked out that way this year, but, it wasn't like that was something I was worried about.
Back here on the right.
Steve Hallstrom, AM 1100 Radio. Trey, for you again, the play that had everybody buzzing in the first half was that time you carried the pile about 6-7 yards with some big guys pushing you. Social media was blowing up with that play. Can you walk us through that was like, first taking on the linebacker, breaking that tackle, and then just seeing that pile keep going to get a big first down after they had scored on the opening drive to take a lead on you guys?
Yeah, we wanted to start fast. We got the ball in our hands. That play specifically, tried to take him on. It was the Mike 52. He was a really good player, big player, and physical, and just fortunate enough it worked out. O-line pushed me about another 15 yards as they've done all season long. So just those guys just took over the game for us.
We'll go back to the right in the second row.
Jeff Kopak with the Forum. Ben, on the fake field goal, I think you had a key block on that. Can you describe that play? And the second part is NDSU doesn't run it very often, a fake anything. I think that was the first time since 03.
Yeah, our coaches have confidence in us players to make plays like that, and James, smart guy, smart football player, and so it was the look that we had been running this whole week, and so when you're prepared like that, it makes it easy to just go out there and cut it loose, and so it was just had to go cut it loose and make the play.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, we'll dismiss the student athletes. Congratulations on your season.
Thank you. I'll see you in there.
And once they're off, we'll go next to questions for head coach Matt Entz.
Thank you.
Open it up now for questions for the head coach. Start over here on the right in the second row.
Coach, Chuck Culpepper from the Washington Post. Starting quarterback, 16 games, 0 interceptions. You don't even dream of that as a coach, do you?
You never plan on it happening like that. No, you're exactly right. Trey's just extremely efficient with the football. You saw today, if he doesn't like it, he's going to pull it down, and he has the ability to gain valuable yards. I think our offensive staff has done an outstanding job of putting him in good situations, going all the way back to September. When maybe we didn't trade shift in motion nearly as much as you might have saw today, and we just continually tried to spoon feed our offense to Trey. And guys, he's learned it faster than anybody, and he probably had a great grasp of it a year ago. But there's no doubt in my mind he has the best quarterback coach in the world, and he probably had as good a mentor in Easton Stick a year ago as you could ask for.
Go first row here on the right.
Ross Uglum, Bison Report. Coach, with the game plan in general on the offensive side, Trey ends up with 30 carries. Your tailbacks end up with 10. Is that something that you knew the QB run was going to be heavy going into today?
We did. They hadn't seen much quarterback run all year. Maybe it was just this year in the CAA. It wasn't a big quarterback run year, but they hadn't defended it. And all of a sudden they were going to start defending us with a bunch of single high defense. You're going to run out of bodies real quick. Your post players are going to have to make some tackles. And just like the third down play, they got into single high defense and back to the ball coverage, and we were able to make an explosive play.
Go next to the second row.
Jeff Kopak at the Forum. James leaving his man, is that uncommon to do that in that situation?
I'm glad he did in that situation. It had happened a couple times before. They missed a throw to the back in the corner of the end zone. He overthrew it, probably had too much on it, came right back to it later. I think the quarterback took a little bit off it and put a little air on the ball. James, he jumped it. And that's what playmakers do at that moment, and he was going to make a play. You talk about a young man that played quarterback for us, made the move, asked to be moved because he wanted to be on the football field. He's been the quarterback of Code Green for a couple years now, and I hope he gets into coaching because he's got it. He's got the ability. He understands the game, And what a super play. And it didn't surprise me that he scored. I didn't think he would score, but if there was anyone who could score on the fake field goal, it was going to be him.
Coach Stephen Hawkins with the AP. On the fake field goal, was that a straight call or was that a look he had to see before he took off?
It was a call. James Madison has not let very many people score touchdowns, but the one thing that they had shown is they lined up the exact same way every time after a touchdown to block the extra point and or field goal. So we had them on the left hash. We knew they'd overload to the field trying to block it where the quarterback was going to have to push the ball. They were 7-by-4. We knew we had numbers back over there and took advantage of it. It was my goal just to keep the chains moving at that time. But again, for us to be able to win the explosive plays during the course of the day was huge.
Isaac Dinesen, Bison Information Network. Just talk about your defense on that final drive, bowing up after some penalties on that drive before the interception.
Well, definitely. I mean, pass interferences are going to happen. There was a number of them early in the game, and so they probably evened themselves out. We got to do a better job. Guys were so just antsy to get after the quarterback. That's frustrating, but I understand the situation of the game. We tried to change up coverage as much as we could. We jumped into some cover 2. We played a little bit more of bracket coverage, which I think caused them some problems at time. They tried that trick play, that throwback, and we did a great job of knocking it down. Our kids' red zone defense is something we practice multiple times during the week. I think our coaches do an outstanding job of preparing for it. A lot of offenses, start to water down or really narrow their package down there. And our kids, like you heard today, I've seen it 100 times in practice. We knew what was coming.
We'll go here to the right and then back to the left on the front row.
Ross Huggum with Bisonport. Coach, if you don't mind, could you kind of run me through what goes through your mind after you send in a call like that? I mean, are you trying not to give off nonverbals? I'm talking about the fake field goal.
Sure.
Are you trying to not give off nonverbals? What's kind of running through your mind after you've made a call like that?
We'll just make sure that the look is there. He had the ability to get out of the fake. If they all of a sudden showed up in a balanced formation, we were kicking a field goal and taking 3 points. And we were really excited about having Riney back today. It's been a long year for him. But, we felt good about it. And we had seen I think we'd already scored today, and they showed us what we were looking for. And so we figured, okay, they gave us the 7-by-4 look. We're anticipating we're going to give it again, and I probably just got to make sure I keep my cool over there because sometimes I probably get really excited about that stuff.
We'll go next here on the left side and then back over to the right.
I'm sorry, Alex at AM 1100, the flag in Fargo. After allowing a score early, how important was that first drive?
It was critical. The play that we were talking about early, that I think our center got beat on some 60 protection, but all of a sudden Trey took off, and then you saw us push him for 10. That might have been as valuable a play during the course of the game as any of them because, they were up 7-0, and all of a sudden I think these guys are a pretty good football team. I know they're young, but the Bison can play football too. And I think that was a moment during the game that our kids probably going to hang their hat on for a long time.
Back over to the right.
Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo. First 16-0 college football team since Yale in 1894. When I say that, what's going through your mind?
Hard to believe. It probably won't sink in for a couple days yet. Maybe on the flight home. I know it'll feel more real the minute I walk through these doors and go in the locker room and see these guys. Just their effort, our coaches' effort. We had a lot of new faces. I joke, we got a lot of teenagers, there are 18 and 19-year-olds in there that have bought into how we do things. They've embraced it. We got 14 unbelievable seniors that have provided leadership. We got a quarterback that is mature beyond his years that everyone wants to be around. He just is that type of person. You want to gravitate to people like him because they make you better. I'm so excited for the senior class. When there were some doubts, a lot of transition. Just like Jackson said, we had this D coordinator who was going to try to be a head coach. But, I can't thank everyone enough.
We'll go here, second row on the left, and then back over to the right.
Dash Menzel, Bison Information Network. Do you feel like the offsides penalties today were induced to antsiness or excitement?
I think we were listening too much to the vocal cadence or of the quarterback and not watching the football enough. Probably a discipline thing that we need to get rectified. I'll worry about it in the spring.
We'll go back to the right and then one more on the left.
Ross Uglin, Bison Report. Was Josh Hayes working through some stuff, or was that just a normal rotation? He came in and out of the game, and then describe the quality of that play that he made when they threw the stacked screen and he was 1-on-2 and tackle for loss.
Josh continued. He's battled some injuries during the course of the year. I mean, we played 16 games, and there's a lot of reps. But when you play 16 games, you also practice another week, and so there's those reps as well on top of it. Destin has given us great depth all year. And, has he played like a veteran? Not all the time, but these reps that he's gotten when he can rotate with Marquise and Josh are going to prepare him for the future. And I know we don't want to talk too much about the future, but, those are unbelievably valuable reps. The last 3 weeks have been valuable to our football team and to a future of our team.
Here in the second row on the left.
Ian Longton, NDSU Spectrum. Coach, you mentioned how young your team is. Can you talk about how you saw them grow from Butler to now?
Just confidence, being able to handle the weekly demands of being a Bison. I think one of the stats, and again, I know we have some issues. We got things we got to continue to clean up. There hasn't been a perfect game yet. We're still striving for it. But when you start looking at our body of work on the football field, being 16-0, and then our semester GPA for the young group was the highest ever as a Division I program at close to a 3.15. I think that says a lot about our kids just buying into the message, believing in each other, and taking a lot of pride in being Bison.
Take one more question here in the front row.
Coach Brad, Super Talk 1270. How different was James game planning for James Madison compared to other teams you've played this season?
Well, I don't know. We went about the process the same way. Now they have a number of talented football players, a roster full of talent. They got a ton of transfers at positions. I'm so glad to see Riley Stapleton finally going to be done. I forgot he was a sophomore in 17 when we saw him. Big physical receiver. They got some great players, but we just went about it and tried to put our kids in the best situation to be successful during the course of the week. And our kids continue to try to execute. Was it pretty all the time? Probably not. But all we asked, they needed to be the best team today. And going 1-0 this week was big.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe Aston, Coach.
We'll see you guys.